What's up, YouTube? Welcome back, DJ Reacts. So here's the second part of the Ali Carter stuff that I've been trying to make. Um, yeah, this is going to be the most disturbing part, and that's why I did this one last. A lot of it's just hard to fathom, hard to stomach, but also there's a lot of videos where she's talking about, you know, do not if you're do not charge for my video, do not ask money uh, for my content. She seems like she's really tired of people actually making money from her content. Uh, Ones that are putting it out there in that manner. But so we're gonna go through some of her videos. But again, this is a big trigger warning. She's talking about a lot of SA, a lot of SRA, satanic ritual abuse, a lot of things that most of the people who watch my type of content about, but this is the first time hearing it from someone in this manner. So let's get on with it.
But um, right now, I think a lot of people are not ready for someone to tell you that there are 3-4-year-olds that people take pride in sticking bars of children. I don't think people are going to be able to stomach the fact that people tie 2, 3, 4, 5-year-old children to horse stables and have horses and dogs rape them, and then they get off on that. I don't think people are going to be able to stomach the fact that people hang children upside down in satanic ritual abuse meetings, and they literally hang them. Literally, by metal prongs, they hang them to get blood dripping out of them, and people go up under and like you're under a rainfall to take their blood. There are situations that I don't think people are ready for. We're not touching the seriousness of trafficking yet, guys. Like, the videos that I've made, the videos that I've started to make, this is not even touching trafficking. This is the gist of it, and I think so many people are quick to raise a sign and say adrenochrome, but you don't know what it means, and you don't know why it's such a thing, why it's such a strong thing in trafficking, and how what makes it so strong. You know that they're drinking children's blood, but you don't know what they're doing to those children to make their blood strong enough to cause something to flip your system in order to keep you in the fountain of youth.
So just real quick, what she's talking about, if you don't know, uh, if you're watching any of my content, you more than likely know what adrenochrome is. But what she's also talking about is the amount of fear. So that's one thing that they have to do, is they have to incite tremendous amounts of terror and fear in order for you to get enough adrenochrome in your blood. So we already know why they use, the people that she's speaking about in those rituals. It's because of their innocence. But the rituals, that's how they're able to get as much adrenochrome, is all of the terror, torture, pain, and all the absolute fear that they're putting, people she's talking about, putting them through that.
No one believes that because it sounds like an unreal horror Disney movie that someone wrote. You know what I'm saying?
It kind of is. A lot of.
Yeah, that was already getting hard to listen to, but there's more. So we go to the next one.
Trust me. I'm saying, I'm just trying to help y'all understand. You stay with me? I'm trying to help you understand. Repeat that. Because I'm not saying this is what happened. If there's a round of kids, it's the trafficker. P. Diddy gets a round of kids. Let's say that round of kids had Justin Bieber in it. There's contracts, okay? There's contracts for codes within that person. So they can take a remote and turn that person off. Britney Spears, when they want to. Lindsay Lohan, when they want to. Amanda Bynes, when they want to. Okay? So let's say there's a contract for Justin Bieber. When P. Diddy has a hold of Justin Bieber, he now owns half of those codes. If Usher had the same contract and trafficked Bieber out to P. Diddy, okay, Usher and P. Diddy now have parts of Justin Bieber's contract. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if one goes down, the other side of the code has to go down. If there's a property linked to that person, Kevin Hart, because they had something to do with the trafficking of Bieber, then their property will go down because there's a code to that property. There's a code to everything. Your social security number is like a code. Okay? But depending on the level of MK Ultra, people have auctions for the codes on that person. So they can use a remote to them like a TV and shut them down, turn it up, use somebody else, change it whenever they feel like it. Bookmark it. Trust me. Trust me, bookmark it. Okay? I know it's probably not going to make sense right now, but bookmark it.
MK Ultra is used, but to get MK Ultra to take hold the way it needs to be, it has to involve satanic ritual abuse, extreme trauma, humiliation, just evil on a level you can't imagine. I don't care what you all think about Trump. I'm not sure what I think about Trump, but he is telling you the truth on a lot of things. You guys just don't understand what he's saying. When he's saying they're eating the cats and dogs, he's preparing your hearts and your minds for the fact that satanic ritual abuse is about to come into the light in a big way. Voodoo is about to come into the light in a big way. Cannibalism is about to come into the light in a big way. All of those things linked to MK Ultra, and it all links to trafficking. Once you have MK Ultra in place, and once you've used satanic ritual abuse to link into the MK Ultra and to program the children, so you can use them as sex slaves or Delta assassins or whatever it is you want them to do, then the trafficking and all those things come into play. But you have to have the base and the foundation first.
I've been a party favor at a few parties. And I'm gonna rewind a little bit. After a certain point of being traumatized, after a certain point of realizing that nobody loved me for me and just for what I could do, or whatever the fact that it was, what people thought about me when I was a little kid, I was naive like that. Do you understand what I'm saying? So after a certain point, I didn't give a damn who did what. I just wanted to be seen. And I know that a lot of people can say, yeah, there's times where a point in your life where you're just like, I just want somebody to give a damn. I just want somebody to see me, and I just want somebody to love me. Okay? So I was there a lot because I've been abused a lot. And after a certain point, I went really numb. Didn't care. A lot of people that were with me called me a traitor because they felt like I just left. I'd be mad at me too, because I stopped giving a shit about anything. I didn't care. It all just a lot. A lot. But I'm not healed. Okay, I'm still angry. still really hurt, and we're still not getting anywhere. So I didn't care, okay? And to be in a room where people promised you the world, at one point you just go numb. So things of me that probably don't make sense, but I was a kid. And all of this situation, everything that we're talking about, everything that I've been talking about, I was under the age of 18. Let's start there. Okay? I was sold a lot in foster care. A lot of stuff happened in my life with the family I was with. Okay? CPS reports go back to 3 months old. I remember 4 years old, and everything took off from there. All right. So never in my life did a lot of the stuff seem wrong until I met this twin of mine. Nothing seemed wrong. I'm telling you the God honest truth to me. And even when I met her, I was just like, it's fine. Seriously, it's fine. This is the way love is. This is the way this is supposed to be. Okay. I'm still trying to find words to what has happened. I'm still trying to find words because every time we do something as far as an affidavit, talk to someone, this takes a lot out of me that I don't think people understand. The nightmares, the flashbacks, the skin crawling, the barely can do one thing without feeling like everything is going to end forever. You want to run. You don't understand the feeling of feeling like I think somebody is still around me and your clothes just don't feel right every day. Okay? So predators get the slap on the wrist and I love them even when you don't know them. They're my idols even though you've never met them in your life. But the victims live with something every second of every single day, and it never goes away. A lot of people are going to ask me, in some situations, why was I there? How did I get there? I was a kid. And I used to think that if I wasn't yelling and screaming, that wasn't rape. Not true either. There is a lot going on with this case. These freak-off parties, they're not freak-off parties. There's a lot that happens. There's life-size wheels that people attach children to and spin it and decide who's having sex in what way. There are so many things. There's body cakes. There's party favors. And I'm talking like, you know how you put up a little birthday bag? Like when you go to a birthday party. And before you can leave, you can take one of those little birthday bags off the table. And then there's toys and like all this stuff for coming to the party. Yeah. Instead of that, there's children. They call them party favors. Okay. I'm really trying to spit this out, but I'm really having a hard time tonight. I'm really having a hard time tonight. And I do not know why. I'm really having a hard time tonight. Because I've had to stop everything and turn around, and we're doing this again. And the thing is I can put out information, but it's not until you guys get slapped with more information that people are like, okay, that's true. I get it. Don't just take one word and just go with it. But a part of my brain right now is just not doing well. I'm not okay. Because I'm just like, all of this, I can drop it. I'll just put up the affidavit and I'm gonna come back on because I'm trying to spit it out, and it's not. I don't know why it's not coming. Because what's irritating me too is journalists and people. If you're monetizing your account and you're messaging me, I'm not giving information out for money. That's not what I'm doing either. The information is priceless.
And we're not going to help you do that.
No,
either.
I don't want to. We're not. We're not doing it. So if you're messaging us like, hey, you could come on my platform and do it, but if your platform is monetized, just please don't message us. You're not gonna like me. I'm just telling you right now. You're not gonna like me. I want to spit the information out. I have a lot. We have decades worth of information. Do you hear what I'm telling you? Okay, but I'm trying to, and everybody's like, just do it. Yeah, but see, here's the thing. You're not sitting right here. You're not sitting right here, and this, it cuts deeper than probably a financial problem. It cuts deeper than a spiritual problem. It cuts deeper than a location problem. It cuts deeper than a soul problem. Okay, it takes a minute. It takes a minute to get up. It takes a minute to get out the corner. And for those who are like, okay, so testify. Nope, because listen. Nope, because the attorney on Diddy's side is corrupt. You know that, right? Who's going to defend someone that they know damn well is a killer, a rapist?
This was something that you hear all the time when they're talking about Diddy and the people around him. They ask, if everybody knew, why didn't anyone say anything? And that was the big thing, was everybody knew that, for one, he will have you unalived. For two, he has, all of the best lawyers around New York on his payroll, and also corrupt police officials. So there was nowhere for these people to go, especially way back then. One thing I love about now is that all of this stuff is coming to light. I mean, all of it. You're seeing, it started with, Epstein, but you're hearing about the cases where the tunnels underground at Disney and the trafficking cases going on with them. You're hearing about, and now because of Diddy, all these people, all these names are coming out that most people already knew for the most part. A lot of them, might have been under, most people's radar, but most of these people you knew. And so that's the beautiful thing about now. It's all coming out. It's coming out, and everybody's seeing that the stuff we've all been talking about for decades is finally coming to light. So that's a beautiful thing. I couldn't be any more ecstatic about it.
A child slave trader. Who's going to defend someone like that? Would you? After you know what's been done? After you
Comes
know
back to a money issue.
that's a money issue, right?
You don't care what happened to the kids. You don't care about your integrity.
That's not Blah. I'm trying to I'm trying, but for whatever reason, it's not. I don't know what the hell's wrong with me right now. I can just feel the evil. I can feel the good, but I can just feel a problem just stirring. I'm trying. I'm trying. What is happening right now, I don't know. I really don't. So, I was ready. I was ready, and then I jumped on here, and I'm like, Gav, back. uh, I don't know what's wrong with my. I was a party favor.
What does that mean?
I was a party favor. I was somebody you could take off the table.
So you're telling me they set children
I set children on
a
a table.
like when you go to a birthday party and they have gift bags for everybody that comes that have candy and toys in them,
Yep.
and they set them on the table. So you're telling me at the freak off parties,
Mm-hmm.
they put children on the table instead of gift bags,
Mm-hmm.
and then people can do what?
Take you off the table and have sex with you, even though it's against the rules to do certain things like anal sex or full house sex. Sometimes that's against the rules. Like for me, that was against the rules, but that didn't matter. That did not matter.
So they come choose you off the table, do whatever they want with you, and then what happens?
Then they put you back on the table.
They put you back on the table for somebody else to come choose you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's called a party favor effect. That's just one of the little things that go on at the freak off parties with children. Were there animals there?
Mm-hmm. Goats.
Did they turn the animals loose on the kids?
Yeah.
And if you got sick and threw up because it was so disgusting, what happened?
You had to eat it.
You had to eat your vomit
Mm-hmm.
if you threw up. That's satanic ritual abuse. Diddy was at this party?
Mm-hmm.
Denzel Washington was at this party?
Yep.
Birdman was at this party?
Yes, he was.
And Young Jock.
Yep.
And you're telling me Denzel was there and it was after 1 o'clock when he supposedly left?
And beanie, socks, and a gold chain.
So you're telling me Denzel Washington was butt naked, he had a beanie on, socks on, and a gold chain, and that's it. In front of children.
Yep.
Funny. Because he sure portrays himself to be holier than thou.
Yep. So a lot of them do.
I think you also told me that one of those men have a birthmark.
Left thigh.
So one of those men have a birthmark on their left thigh.
Yep.
Did you have sexual interactions with Diddy?
Yep.
Denzel? And I know we don't tell on Denzel. You might not tell on Denzel, but your mama gonna tell on every fucking buddy. I ain't keeping no pedophile secrets. Denzel?
Yep.
Birdman? Did Birdman promise you things?
So much. Like what he promised Lil Wayne at a young age. Because you know we shared the system together. Share a birthday together too.
I know a lot of you have seen P. Diddy get guardianship of a lot of young kids. That means he holds their contracts. I know you've heard me talk about Allie's contract and how often it gets auctioned off, and the things that come from that when it's auctioned. So when you're seeing that he was a guardian for these children, he's holding their MK Ultra contracts is what that translates to. Were you the only child at this party?
No, not at all. There's so many kids at this party.
Were there also so many celebrities?
Yep. That whole they leave at a certain time, that's not true. Everybody has to take DNA test, saliva test, blood tests, give up your phone, give up information, any trackers or locations, no weapons, no cameras.
So I'm sorry, but anybody that's running in those circles, whether they claim to have left early or not, is a bunch of bullshit. Because if you left early, but you knew kids were there, and you did know, you don't run in those circles and not know that. If someone is willing to rape a child, they have no integrity at all. So that means they're also liars. That means they probably also murder people. That means they do a lot of shit. Because the lowest bar that you can set for yourself is to not hurt kids. And if you can't hold that bar, you can't hold the bar for anything else. So saying I left early from a party where children are being brutalized and raped and sodomized and used in bestiality and satanic rituals is not a plausible explanation or excuse or a pass. And this is something you're probably going to want to bookmark, but the way these things link together will blow your mind, and there's no coincidences. These things tie together like a ball of spaghetti. Like, I don't even know how to explain that, but everything else. And when you start pulling at one thing, you're going to get a bunch of other things that all link together. Who they deal with, who they associate with, where they traffic, how they traffic, all of this links together. You have traffickers putting out movies. Sound of Freedom.
What Sound of Freedom?
They're putting out movies.
I'm sorry.
About
I don't hear any sound.
While they're trafficking, while they're in bed with traffickers funding the movie. Y'all went to see that and were like, yay, somebody's doing something. No, nobody did anything, but you gave your money to aid trafficking. You guys have got to be careful what you do. Be careful what you do with your money. Be careful who you vote for. Be careful who you idolize, because you don't know how deep these things go.
There's no election. There's no damn election. So don't, and this is not a political thing, but there's no election. Because everybody's guilty. Everybody is guilty. Who do you call for all these children?
Start asking the right questions. Who is trafficking these children? Where are they getting these kids from? When Diddy's house was being raided, the neighbor drove by and said, yeah, they bust kids in at 3 a.m. How are they busing kids in? Where would you go to get a busload of kids? We could do this all day long. We could list celebrities all day long. But until you guys are soul sick and disgusted and get a righteous anger, it's kind of pointless to keep just naming names. We've been naming names for years.
I'll give you some names. You wouldn't even know them though, because CPS covered them up. Those names are what's important. This is a lot.
You're going to be seeing more cannibalism come out into the light, because that's part of satanic ritual abuse. That's part of what these people do. I've said for years, they're not like us. They don't think like us. They don't act like us. They don't have integrity. They're not like us. They don't have any value for life unless it's their own. And once you wrap your head around that satanic ritual abuse that's going on, then we can get right into the MK Ultra. And to me, that's the worst of the worst.
I don't know what happened. My brain just shut down. I just can't. I'll come back on here when I can. I'll be back tomorrow. Give me till tomorrow. Sharon told her, hold on half the affidavit, just wait a second, and he'll drop one. But that doesn't matter. Like, do you understand what I'm saying? It doesn't matter until it matters. People can drop evidence all day. You got shit coming out left and right. It doesn't matter until it matters to somebody that is personal.
Well, it matters. What are you going to do? What changes are you going to make in your life? Are you going to keep idolizing these people? Are you going to keep supporting them with your money? You're going to go watch their trafficking movie, even though the traffickers are funding the movie, and it was about a fictional trafficking situation, when you could have just talked to any survivor and they would have given you more information. Like, everybody needs a come to Jesus meeting. Everybody needs a reality check with their life. Things are not what they seem. You're either going to keep going down that road and keep your head in the sand, or you're going to get shaken to your very core, and find that righteous indignation deep inside and say, this is enough. These children are on our watch. There are children still being harmed and hurt and brutalized, and have animals turned on them sexually, and are having their face rubbed in their own vomit if they get sick. They're being beat if they start their period. You don't understand what they're doing. But that's on our watch. That's on my watch, and that's on your watch. So it's up to us. What are we going to do about it? Are we going to continue to allow it? Or are we going to start holding people accountable? Are we going to hold people's feet to the fire and say, this is enough, this is not going to happen anymore?
Everybody, when I was younger, they let it happen. When I went into foster care, nobody did anything. Nobody called to check. I was missing for a year from CPS custody. I ran away and made a choice myself when I was auctioned to Russia. I was like, that's enough. They're going to kill me. I tried to tell my social worker, it's still in paperwork. I called the supervisor. We called the ombudsman. They're going to kill me. Can y'all help me? You keep talking, we'll ship you to Arizona and nobody will ever find you. I said, all right. Make a choice myself. I went missing for a year. No one came to look for me. You could tell the people who gave a damn because those are the people that are in records that called.
As a previous social worker, I can tell you the easiest way to get kids put into trafficking is they'll just take the kids, they will groom the kids, and then when the kids go missing, CPS says the foster parent's responsibility if your foster child goes missing is you pick up the phone, you call 911 and say, I have a foster kid, they ran away, and that absolves you of any responsibility. So anything that happens to the kid from that point on is no longer your responsibility. It absolves CPS of the responsibility, and nobody bothers to look for the kid. They will not allow you to hunt for that kid.
Mm-mm. They took me out of the missing kids network real quick.
So a lot of missing kids are labeled runaways, and nobody ever knows what happens to them. CPS is the big pharma for children.
Nobody holds them accountable at all. They can't.
There's no oversight for CPS except the ombudsman, which is very, very loose and that's not an oversight. And you guys think, I'm a good parent, so CPS will never come to my door. That's not true. If your kid gets on somebody's radar, if your kid gets on a trafficker's radar, they can file a complaint, they can make a phone call, they can send a corrupt CPS and a corrupt police officer to your house, and they'll take your kid, and that's it. It does not matter if you're a good parent or not. It has nothing to do with it. You non-monetized investigators should start digging into CPS and find out what...
So that was the end of that one. We're going to get into this next one. But yeah, I think everybody knows about CPS. If you don't do your research, I might make a video on it. But CPS has always been one of the worst organizations. It's so evident. I remember recently... there was a director from CPS online in a Senate hearing, and they were talking about the amount of children that had gone lost under her jurisdiction, and she kept trying to, dance around the question, but they were still asking, how did all of these children go missing under your watch? And it's great to see that, but we need more of it. It needs to be out there more because it still goes on. It hasn't ever stopped. So yeah, I'm glad all of this is coming to the light finally.
So when you are going to order or cater food for an event, you can also do that with sex. You can cater a sex. Also do that with sex. You can cater a sex with minors to come to your event. Mm-hmm. And this was a sex catered event for policemen
in Los Angeles, California. Los Angeles, California. More specifically, Simi Valley.
And how old were you?
15. I lived in a Mexican foster home in Riverside County, under Riverside County CPS protection. I called them. We told them what was going on. I told them what happened. They didn't want to hear it. Not another report. Now, we keep getting pulled over.
Imagine that.
I wonder how that works. And then there's some people who are like, so what do we do next? I don't know, because we're trying to figure out what we're doing next. with a smile on our face. Because in a minute, I probably won't be smiling because I honestly feel like I'm a puke on this camera. You want to see me puke? I mean, if you, if you, if you, if you feel like you need to see that too, you want to see me throw up? Because that's how I honestly feel right now. And that's more than likely what I'm headed to do after this video. Because we have to do something. And we're minding our business. We trying to stay alive. We're trying to get some things done. We're trying to get some things in place. And once again, I have a feeling that license and registration, where you headed? It's about to happen. Ask me how I know. Again. You know, sometimes because of the way that I started getting smart about the jobs. I wasn't really understanding the way things were going at first, and then I started getting smart about things. And then your girl started faking orgasms. And then sometimes that works to back people off. Sometimes that does not work to back people off. Then I can sarcastically smile at you like this. And you can see the fuck you in my smile. And that would cause me to get hit to the point where maybe I would be knocked out and then I wouldn't have to worry about what was going on until it was over. I had tactics. What can you do? And then the only other thing you could do is pee on people. Ain't that some shit? Boom, boom.
That don't always work, because most of those fools are like
that shit. They nasty asses. And then the only other thing that you could hope for is that somebody kills you. Because then you're free. Yeah. I still remember that shit. Clearly. Having problems with that right now. So. I thank you for doing the research. I don't know what else to say or show you guys. I'm going to try to. I'm going to try to at this next part 2 coming out. I'm going to try to, with the live event, pray that I can get everything out as much as we can before we run out of time, because we are almost out of time and I am exhausted. And layers of exhausted. And on top of that, I wanted to tell you, see, my former name used to be Jezebel, but my mama named me Leilani. You know us all as Allison. Maybe Allie. That would be me. And then the one who made the bonnet video comes across a little bit different than I do. See, those sex festivals and all of those bondage jobs, that what I just explained would just hope for, I would just do, or just try to make somebody tick for, those cause splits. So what a child may be going through right now, being tortured and raped, that causes splits. Your brain has to do something with that pain. You know how people say, well, I feel trapped in my own body, or that's not me, I'm not that person. That has a little flavor to that.
Sorry, that last one ended abruptly, but yeah, that's one of the things I was talking about with her DID, or dissociative identity disorder. You know, when she's talking about brain splits. So a lot of times you'll see her talking differently, and there was a video where I watched where she was explaining, where she was going through all of her splits. I think there's 12 of them, if I'm not mistaken. I was really shocked at the amount. You know, I thought maybe 5 or 6, but it was double that. But I mean, it makes sense considering what she's gone through. I mean, it's still hard to listen to, but it needs to be out there. We're gonna get into this one real quick.
We were taken to these houses, really nice houses. Before we were told to go to a room, we were in the living room, and I was sitting with Akon and my friend was sitting with his friend who was from Dubai. They still didn't do a test or do a sample that they could do. So his friend fisted my friend anally. He beat her. She fought him, and it made things worse. You're not allowed to help. You're not allowed to, you're not allowed to flinch. You're not allowed to get angry. So I didn't help her. And I'm really sorry. And she got hurt. She bled a lot, and she got really sick. And I didn't get to see her anymore after that. So I didn't cry. I didn't get mad with Akon. I didn't get mad at all. I wasn't yelling. I wasn't asking him to let me go. I didn't get mad at him. I did what he said. It wasn't bad. It just wasn't brutal. It wasn't bad. Okay. He didn't hurt me, as you know, he didn't hurt me.
Yeah, that was painful.
Ron Jeremy, Denzel Washington, Beyonce Knowles, Ellen DeGeneres, Whoopi Goldberg, Lady Gaga, Chrissy Teigen, John Legend, Joan Rivers, Rob Saget. Do you want me to keep fucking going? Ask me. Everybody wonder why my smile is so deep. Everybody wonder why my eyes sparkle. Everybody always asks me, why are you smiling when you dance? Because you don't understand the live through. It's worth it to smile. And I'm still smiling, and I'm gonna continue to smile. And majority of y'all who continue to ask me and gonna tell me that I'm pointing fingers to kiss my natural black ass and miss me with that shit. Bye. Bye. And when it comes out, don't come running back. I shouldn't have to get this nitty gritty for people to wake the fuck up. I shouldn't have to say something like that for you to be like, oh shit, she's probably telling the truth. It is pathetic that people gotta go here. It's pathetic that it's gonna take somebody to say it was me for somebody to understand. I'm gonna stop yelling though.
Here's one that I actually like a lot because she gets into MK Ultra and satanic ritual abuse, and like I said before, it's good to hear people actually talk about that because we've all known it, but to actually hear it from people that have been in those circles before is very eye-opening.
Seeing the next arrest? There's a number 3. It's coming. And we're in the way. Big time. MK Ultra is not a joke. You guys are understanding the heaviness and the weight and the reality of trafficking. You're not understanding yet, and I pray that you do, that sex trafficking ties hand in hand with MK Ultra and satanic ritual abuse. Some of you guys have seen Satan in your face and still can't understand and fathom that he's in the mix of this. You have people pretending to be Satan. You have people creating sets to be Satan and with your celebrities and stuff. But everyday people, some people are not understanding is basic programming. There's basic programming in the military. There's basic programming coming from narcissists, right? No matter what you do, no matter what you say, it will always be your fault. They will never take responsibility. They will never take accountability. Their ego is too big to ever admit their wrongs. They take that shit to the grave. Okay? Survivors, real ones, I'm talking to you. these next few weeks, they gunning for the nation. These next few weeks, there is an auction for a lot of survivors that are speaking out. If you are speaking out, this is the time. Do not stop. Go full force. This is the time. If you have connections and you see connections for people who are bigger than what you see from these survivors that are coming out, the real victims, we don't have that much pull. But there's people who sit in places that used to be in the music industry. Do you see any of their evidence? There's people who sit in this place that are generals, that are attorneys, that are big names, and it's possible for them to make a move and to push something forward, but they won't do it unless it has some type of benefit for them. You know who I'm talking about. And if you don't, pay attention.
On this one, she talks about the tunnels.
While I was down there, there was something that happened. I don't even know what to call it. There was something that sounded like an earthquake, something that sounded like people got into a fight. There was a shooting. I was taken from one room to another, and then from there, someone left me there. I started moving and trying to get out of where I was. I was with the friend that I came in with, who was freaking out. She was hyperventilating. She was crying. She was trying everything to get out, and it made us get deeper in. The lower you go, the harder it is to get out. No one knows where the doors are. No one knows where the exits are. No one knows where some of these tunnels lead to. So it's not as easy as just say, I'm just going to get out, or I'm just going to try to find a way out. If you are walked in, you're escorted in, somebody has to help you get out. After what happened, we had to leave. Again, I don't know what was going on. I'm still not sure what happened that night. Maria, I am so sorry. I am my brain is I'm so sorry. I don't even know what's wrong with me right now. I'm being honest. I'm like stupid sweating and I don't even know what's wrong. But I'm fine. Okay.
It's a very, very difficult topic.
Since she was previously discussing CPS, we'll watch this one where her mom talks about what she experienced with CPS when it came to Allie Carter.
When Allie was put in foster care, I was advocating for her, and I was reporting back, and I was writing reports and turning in reports to CPS based on the abuse that she was telling me that she was experiencing while in foster care. At first, they embraced me, and they were allowing me to have visitation with her. When I started making too many waves, they turned everything back on me. They filed a court order that said I was a predator to Allie, and they were telling me I was not allowed to have contact with her because they were trying to silence things, and they were using that as a means to scare me. CPS was in charge of Allie at that time. She was their responsibility. If they filed a court order that I was a predator or was harming her, they should have pressed charges and they should have followed up on that, and they never did. Shortly after that, Allie went missing from CPS care. She was AWOL for over a year. After that year was up, they placed her with me. They said I was a good home and a good fit for her, and they allowed her to be placed in my home. Those are two opposite things in a very short time, but they do that to a lot of parents. That's a tactic they use to silence people, to keep control of the situation, to get people to look the other way. CPS is very corrupt. and it needs to be defunded. It's very evil what they do. They can remove children from any of your homes for any reason. It's irrelevant whether you're a good parent or a bad parent. If CPS wants to traffic your kid, they can come in and take your kid, and you really won't have a leg to stand on.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, it happens all the time, but it's crazy to hear them come out and talk about it. I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. I hope you guys, got some eye-opening facts from that. I'm gonna also post next one of the documentaries on her, where her and her mother going through like everything, just sitting there talking. And it's about a 45-minute video, so I'm gonna put that up next. So look out for that one, and I'll see you guys on the next one.